In addition to giving us the Kaffeeklatsch, Germany has contributed a great deal to the global coffee trade. Its powerhouse status as a green coffee importer, as well as its history of machine innovation and precision commercialization, has had impact on a large scale. These areas of German interest have also had a strong influence on the country's still growing specialty coffee scene. Let's take a closer look at the country of poets, thinkers, and coffee people. Germany is the largest importer of green coffee in Europe for two main reasons. First, it has a huge coffee roasting market, which exports a considerable amount far and wide. Second, the country also has a passionate love of coffee domestically. In 2019, Brazilian exports to Germany were over 6.3 million bags, accounting for more than 33% of the country's total imports. This was followed by Vietnam with 4.1 million bags. The scale of imports from Brazil and Vietnam can be traced back in part to the large commercial roasting trade that's in-country. It is also linked to a consumer preference for a more traditional profile and preparation, as well as a general sense of price consciousness that has been expressed by German coffee drinkers. Honduras, 1.7 million bags, and Colombia, 1 million bags, come next on the list, although at significantly lower numbers. This offers an interesting look into the more specialty and single-origin style offerings that are slowly becoming more popular. When asked their definition of specialty coffee, German consumers often state things like the use of 100% Arabica beans, the freshness and the style of roasting, and the high quality or premium flavor. Traceability is also of significant interest, with specific attention paid to the coffee's country of origin. German consumers are also interested in whether or not the trading of the green coffee was done fairly, typically referring to voluntary sustainability standards and certification schemes like Fair Trade, Rainforest Alliance UGZ, or 4C. The craft of roasting is held in high esteem in this market, with an emphasis on the degree of the roast, the equipment itself, the skill of the person operating the roasting machine, and the sensory analysis of the finished coffee. Perhaps this is tied to Germany's long-standing fascination with the engineering behind coffee roasting technology. The first roaster patent in Germany was awarded in 1877, with a dozen more issued between 1880 and 1882 alone. Probad remains one of the largest names in roaster manufacturing worldwide, with headquarters offices near the Rhine River. In comparison to the UK, where filter coffee is less commonly enjoyed at home, a full 51% of German households in 2019 had a semi-automatic filter coffee brewer. Soluble coffee still captured 18% of households, but the preference among the majority of Germans seems to be fresh brewed coffee of some kind or another, even if that brew comes from pre-ground pots or capsule machines. After a decade of strong growth, sales of these devices have slowed in recent years. Ground coffee in pods or capsules saw about a 2% dip in sales in 2020, though COVID-19 restrictions around the country may see a bump to that figure as people continue to seek convenient ways to brew at home. Fittingly, considering Germans' coffee brewing preference, whole bean roasted coffee is the most commonly purchased type of coffee product and also represents the greatest value in the sector. Germany has recently passed the United States for its sales of whole bean coffee by volume, which is commonly purchased in grocery markets, coffee retail shops, and at cafes. The coffeehouse history of Germany is long and storied and continues to be a significant part of the culture throughout the country. In 2020, there were more than 28,000 cafes that served coffee along with some food and other beverages. The vast majority of these were independently operated. Culturally, Germans tend to prefer to linger over coffee, food, and conversation, which these types of establishments encourage. There were also a reported 2,276 coffee-focused businesses, with the primary product being brewed coffee beverages alongside some light pastry options. Chain businesses dominate the coffee-focused sector, creating room for growth among independent operators waiting to start small, customized businesses that stand out from the bigger players like Coffee Fellows, Starbucks, and Sagafredo. Hamburg is the largest port for receiving green coffee shipments into the country. It's a central point for most of the major trading houses, which include Ecom, Neumann Coffee Group, and Raymond Co. Neumann is the world's largest coffee trading firm, responsible for roughly 10% of the world's coffee supply and operating out of 27 countries. Coffee retailer Chibo was also founded in Hamburg. In addition to selling its own branded, fully automatic bean-to-brew single-serve coffee machines, Chibo now operates more than 700 locations throughout Germany and 300 more worldwide. In-home consumption still captures the vast majority of the German coffee market, which provides dynamic opportunities for quality-focused specialty roasters to sell their product wholesale and retail. But the growing number of so-called third-wave cafes also points to a shift in habits, however small to start. The success of local quality-driven roasters retailers like The Barn, which operates 10 locations in Berlin, can serve as inspiration for entering the developing segment of businesses that center around coffee while providing a relaxed, inviting hospitality experience. The long-term effects of COVID-19 on the supply chain, as well as the impacts of Brexit on Germany's export market, will remain to be seen, but the country's specialty coffee expansion is certainly one to watch.